One of the reasons I quit Elite Dangerous over a year ago was because I had a feeling that my purchase of the Odyssey expansion was rather pointless, since Frontier Development was more busy fleshing out their Thargoid narrative over content that would enrich their latest major expansion. Since then, all I've been hearing about was more Thargoid war reports, anti-Thargoid weapons, new Thargoid ships, and quite frankly, I couldn't care less about these. I thought Elite was more interesting when it was about humanity and its struggles, and the Thargoids were just an afterthought for bored explorers. But this stream of thought came from an outsider's point of view, whom, if you remember, hadn't touched the game for over a year. The question is it really that bad? Are the Thargoids an unavoidable nuisance, or is it possible to completely ignore them while remaining in the original bubble around Sol? Well, that's what we are going to find out in today's video. So first, let's talk about the introduction screen, which already reminds us that the Thargoids are a major focus in Elite right now, and since I don't remember where I left the game last time, I just hope that the station I landed at had not been overrun by those pesky aliens. Luckily, everything seems to be fine here, as I was able to enter the game, and I was able to then disembark and freely walk around the station and look for a few surface level opportunities. Since I had pretty much forgotten anything at this point regarding Elite Dangerous gameplay, I decided to relearn the ropes with the easiest mission possible, a delivery mission. All I had to do was to go to an outpost, pick up an item, and bring it back to my station. Nothing too fancy there, but I was struck actually to see how alive those outposts were, with functional NPCs going by their business, security that was actually working, and NPC traffic going back and forth. I wish that we had that in Star Citizen, because it just took the immersion to a whole new level compared to what I'm used to in my main channel. After a few missions, I was starting to feel more comfortable with the game, and my skills were starting to return bit per bit. It was time to call my main ship, this beautiful Imperial cutter, and see what I could do with it. What a great passenger mission this is! And well, there were no training opportunities between the two ports, but it was a chance to see if I could peacefully do these old school missions without being bothered by some undesired alien presence. And the answer was a positive yes. There was nothing to signal. I decided to repeat the experience, but this time with some cargo in my hull, as I was going to travel from an agricultural station to a high-tech station. The trip was once again done without any incident, and the cargo and the passengers were again safely delivered. I then decided to raise the stakes. Since I was in a system that was experiencing a civil war, I thought the time had come to show once again to the galaxy why I am the Eradicator. So, I started first with a ground battle. An NPC then transported me to a frozen moon where two local factions were fighting for the control of the facility. It took me a little while to get used to Elite's ground combat mechanisms again, but eventually I got a good hold of it and I was able to help my team secure the victory. Mission accomplished. Next, it was time to bring the heat into space. Since I still felt a little bit rusty, I took a combat mission with a modest objective of 10 kills, and then I headed towards one of the local conflict zones. The time had come to send my trusty NPC companion into the fray. There were a few low-tier NPC hostiles, and unfortunately, the battle was over before I was able to fulfill my objective. It was time to bring in the danger and head into a high-intensity battle. Of course, the adversaries were much more dangerous, but so were my allies. This combat mission reminded me that Elite Dangerous can be dangerous if you choose to, and I really appreciated the intensity of the gameplay I had just experienced. Back at the station, it was time to collect the fruits of my labor and take one final mission for this test, the last bit of gameplay that I enjoy in Elite Dangerous, and that is pirate hunting. Again, I stuck to a modest objective for this mission with only one target to hunt down. The system I was sent had no asteroid belt nor any rings, so I had to go to a nav beacon. It wasn't long until I found some suspicious ships. Unfortunately, that pirate was not part of the faction I was asked to hunt down. The bounty was very juicy though, and the eradication was worth it. No, the real target came after in a squad. This was actually a tough fight, and I had to shamefully drag my adversary towards a security patrol to get a chance to reverse the tide. The target was eliminated, and the mission was once again a success. With that comes the end of this test. Yes, it is possible to play Elite Dangerous and completely ignore the Thargoids. All of the gameplay loops that you might be familiar with and love are still there and can offer you some quality game time. Unfortunately, all of the flaws of Elite Dangerous that were here a year ago are still here, but that's not the topic of this video. But if you want to know more about this, well, I'll be very happy to elaborate in detail in another video another day. And that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you like this video, please let me know with a thumbs up. And if you think that I deserve it, please consider subscribing to the channel for more gameplay content. Thank you so much to everybody out there who support the channel, especially on Patreon, including Dr. Forbin, Zeo Crusher, and Wolfbite Pug. It's been the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.